Real quick.
Oh,
Should be
now
good.
we should be good. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what it was.
Okay, we're ready to go. We are now out live on the web. So let's get seated and get started. Need an agenda? Okay. Amongst the assembled multitudes, if any of you have any documents for us, they would go to Mr. Curran. Don't forget to silence your gadgets. We'll begin as we do with an invocation and a pledge. If you wish to join in either or both, please rise.
Please bow your heads with me. Father God, we just are so privileged to come to you in prayer today. We ask for health enough to make work a pleasure. We ask for wealth enough to support our needs and strength enough to battle with difficulties and forsake them. Patience enough to work until some good is accomplished. Love enough to make us useful to others. And finally, hope enough to remove all anxious fears about the future. We ask all this in Jesus' precious name. Amen.
Amen. Please pray with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Bell.
Here.
Curran.
Here.
Freeling. Present. Harrison.
Here.
Hinkleman.
Here.
Ott. Pitchford. Tyler. Borat. Werfel. Scarborough. Elliott. You have 12.
Thank you. And we have a full house, and at least around the horseshoe. Minutes from last week. Anyone want to
Make that
bold?
motion.
Okay.
I'll be bold.
Moved by Freeling,
Second.
seconded by Werfel. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Minutes are approved. Madam Clerk, I understand this week we have communications.
We do. Visit Southwest Michigan Labor Day Weekend Fun in Southwest Michigan. Email received August 22nd. Visit Southwest Michigan Breathtaking Summer Hikes. Email received August 26th. We also received an email from Kalamazoo County containing resolution 2025-980 opposing the MDHHS plan to implement a competitive procurement process for a prepaid inpatient health plan, and the resolution was attached.
Great, thank you. The consent calendar has one added resolution, which has to do for a grant application for fat tire bicycles at Love Creek. So if you have one and you want to write it at Love Creek, you'll be happy. The other resolutions are the ones that were on the agenda originally. If you have any comment about the resolutions, now would be your time. If not, we'll proceed to the consent calendar, including the added resolution ending in 8313.
I'll make that motion.
Hold on. Adolph, did you have a comment? Okay. Okay, all right. Well, you'll have another chance later. So it's moved by Pitchford. Is there support? Supported by Horfel. Okay, and that for both of you includes the added resolution, correct?
Correct.
All right. Anyone have anything to say about these resolutions? All right. In the absence of comment, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Curran,
Yes.
Freeling. Yes. Harrison.
Yes.
Hinkleman. Ott. Pittsford.
Yes.
Tyler. Yes. Borath. Werfel.
Yes.
Yarborough.
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes,
Bell.
Yes.
thank you. Was it Paul Harvey who would say, page 2? We're on page 2. Committee reports. Madam Chair of Finance, would you like to go first?
No.
No, all right. Well,
At least she's on.
okay, then why don't we'll put you down to the third slot and Mr. Chair of PHS.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We met today. I had a number of action items for us. We approved a pension buy-in for a former employee, Ashley Pazawilko. We approved advanced step hire request for the Health Department, the new WIC supervisor, Courtney Tadros, so those were approved. We had a very interesting presentation from the Riverwood staff regarding support that they give to youthful offenders. We found that very interesting and had a number of questions about the potential for them to serve our students in our residents at the juvenile center. So very, very interesting. We talked a bit about the public defender's compensation process. And we also had an update regarding the recruiting of a new finance director, and we're very pleased with how that's going. We had a brief discussion over some of the data from our HR department, and we're very pleased with the progress that we're showing there. So a lot of good work being done by our staff. We also had a discussion with our administrator regarding some reconsideration of temporary employee annual cap. And so there'll be some additional work being done on that before action coming to the board. So it'll include review by our corporate counsel, what the boundaries are of changes we can make. So we had a good meeting, covered a lot of topics and a lot of issues, and I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Thank you. Mr. Chair of Admin.
Thank you, Mac. First in to see us was Captain Adams from Emergency Management. He wants to eliminate a contract with going to Microsoft 365. There's duplication in what that does and what this other supplier does. So we authorize that. And so he will put together a resolution and bring it to finance so that you folks will see that. We signed off on it. We're okay. Next in to see us was Scott Sanford, our public defender. And the main message that Scott had for us had to do with staffing and pay for his staff. You know, the MIDC has set standards that they have to meet, and one of those standards has to do with the number of misdemeanor and felony cases that one attorney can hear. And he is, because he's down in staff, he's not in compliance with that. So what we advised him to do is to get with Brian and financial services, if necessary, sit down, put together a plan on what he thinks it's gonna take to fill those positions. And then it'll come back to admin after we've seen it and approved it, then we will send it on to PHS. And then you folks can address that with the public defender's office. So we want to help them out as best they can, but Scott also pointed out that we're not the only one in that boat. That the attorneys in demand for public defenders and for prosecutors' offices are in high demand. So everybody's experience is not just us. After Scott was Caitlin from 911. Caitlin did talk to us a little bit about staffing, but hers is not nearly as critical as the public defender's office. She did talk to us about career technical education, that she has 2 seniors coming back. This is like the co-op program where they train now, and then hopefully when they're done, they become dispatchers. So she's really positive and encouraged by that. Talk to us about the mobility, mobile apps that are being developed. She also talked about they've had 2 meetings now. This is our 2nd meeting on active violence, mass casualty incident response. Unfortunately, there was a mass casualty yesterday at a church. I think for a lot of things, we are well prepared. For this, we are probably not as prepared as we should be. And so the 911 and this committee has taken active role to go through all the protocols for if there is a mass incident, what does everybody do? And so sitting at the table, Dave O'Rath and I sit on this committee. You have all the police represented, you have fire represented, you have the ambulance folks there. And like I say, this is our 2nd meeting. I think there was some good discussion, good dialogue. There was a draft outline presented that everyone who was there is going to digest. And then at our next meeting, we'll hopefully refine it from everybody's discipline, whether you're police, fire, and keep moving that forward so that we are well prepared if something like that should happen. She talked about radios. She talked about other projects that are going on. There was one other thing that I wanted to bring up. No, I can't find it. I reported to you before about the encryption that has to be done with the radios on the police side. That is still ongoing so that we are in compliance. And that is all from Caitlin. Then we had Mark Heiliger, our road department director, in to see us. And there is a resolution that is going to be brought to us the next time we get together. And it essentially, he's asking for permission to apply for a grant that is designed to redo culverts to enhance the flow of fish, especially those in the time of year when they are spawning. So there's a maximum of 2 projects that could be presented. Right now, he gave us 2 that he's looking at, but he said, I want to apply for the grant, get the grant, and then I will define definitively what 2 projects he wants to do. So we okayed that. And I'll go over that, I guess, when I go through resolutions. That was all for that. And then I'll move on to resolutions. We have a few resolutions. Resolution ending in 253. This is for the trial court to enter into a contract for tether services with Track Group Incorporated. Resolution ending in 270. This is again from the trial court to enter into a contract with Peterson Research Consultants. Resolution ending in 309. This is to approve contract with Defense Council, and this is for juveniles. And then there is another resolution 310, which has to do with the parents for representation. So those two go hand in hand. Resolution ending in 314. This is to approve the acceptance of a gift. And this is from the Friends of Berrien County Animal Services. They want to donate 3 shade awnings from the Benton Harbor awning to cover play yards. The shade awnings will be 223 inches long by 118 inches wide and would be installed by Benton Harbor Awning. And again, we are very grateful for the Friends of Berrien County Animal Control for their donation. And then resolution ending in 315, that's the one that Mark talked to us about. That's the culvert, so you can see that. And then we had a property use request. This is one that we've done before. It is for motorcycles. It's for the 911 Memorial Ride. They want to assemble in the courthouse on September the 7th at 8 a.m. And once they've assembled, then they ride their motorcycles out from there. So we approve that. And that is our report. Oh, I know what, I think I remember what the other item was that Caitlin talked to us about. And that is on the CAD. And I had talked to Brian previously about this because when we met yesterday, we didn't have the information that the MOUs are going out or went out. If you want to address that, Brian, I'd appreciate it, because this is on the CAD that I've talked to you about before that impacts police and fire. And I'll turn it over to Brian.
Yeah, so members of the board, as a reminder, the mobile CAD is the program that would run through the dispatch center. It would allow local first responders to see what the dispatchers are seeing. So essentially real-time access to all first responders on essentially a digital display. So the information packet has been put together for the law enforcement side. We still have to do the fire side. I was trying to think of a fancier way to say it, but the fire side. The reason that fire cannot go out yet is we have to finalize the memo of understanding that would be specific to the fire agencies. The memo of understanding has been reviewed by our IS department, by your 911, and then by our esteemed corporate counsel has given his blessing to that document. That information has been bundled up with cover letter, copy of your authorizing resolution, copy of the mobile CAD presentation, and then the MOU. That has been shared with the sheriff. It's also been shared with the chair of that committee, that being Chief Smigelski. Before I send it broadly out to all of the chiefs, I did send it just yesterday to Chief West, just to make sure that there's no questions that need to be clarified. Once I get Wes's thumbs up, we will send it both digitally as well as we'll get something in the mail to the local units. Same process will occur on the fire side. I'll work with our main point of contact to get it reviewed and then get it shared. Now, to the group, I think that through these conversations, there's been a desire from some of the local units to see a cash contribution from the board. And this is something that is still hanging out there. We have the MOU in place. It's been approved. It's been shared. I'm waiting to see how many of those MOUs come back. I anticipate that you may hear about a desire for more to be brought to the table. Your authorizing resolution does not have that built into it. And I'm in no way saying that you can't look at this further. I am just saying that for right now, our side of this is tied really to the addition of staff, the addition of the maintenance side of it, and then the administration of the program. I am happy to discuss, and I know that the sheriff is likely to have some thoughts on this.
Chuck, the microphone's off. You'll need to turn it on.
So Brian, I appreciate the MOU, but I did see Chief Smigalski last night at graduation. The concern is without knowing what that cost is for agencies to make the decision. So we appreciate the MOU, but the MOU is minus what I think that cost sharing is, and that's an important part to be. So I did say that I would try to bring it for out earlier today, but so how we get there, I don't know, but that's an important part for the law enforcement agencies to know. I know there's been talk of 50% and in there, but it doesn't really say that amount, which may cause some concern moving forward.
So to the board, I think that this is one that we are trying to move fast to keep up with law enforcement's desires, but we still have a bit of a moving target on does the county board want to put more into the pot to encourage the program? And that's something that the good news is we are right at the start of the budget season. So it's probably the right time to be having that discussion.
If we did that, would we still be able to seek a grant from the state?
So I think the answer on that is no. But as of yesterday, as we read through the first round of the budget proposal, the bad news to the county is revenue sharing is going to go down. The good news to the county is funding for law enforcement appears to be going up. Now, this is the first round of negotiations, and who knows what numbers will actually stick, but there was a significant increase in contributions to law enforcement spending. So to the board, the Public Safety Trust Fund is something that I've really been keying on as we've had conversations with members of the legislature. Public Safety Trust Fund seems like a perfect way to fund this, but I don't know if that will end up getting funded.
And could it be funded if we've already done it? And we'd be seeking a grant from the trust fund to reimburse us, because CAD, I mean, if we can see where people are in real time, something's happening, something's going down, to use a dated expression, and we can see where law enforcement personnel are right then. That public safety component is, I don't know how you put a dollar figure on it. So if we can do this, I mean, we were talking before between 200 and 300K to match it, get it going. And then we could seek the grant and we could tell the locals, you've got 12 months, 24 months, 36 months to reimburse us. And we're going to try to get a grant in the meantime to reduce your reimbursement obligation. But it could be done, it could be up and running, and we could have the township, city, village component out there, and they would know it's not a gift. It's a loan, and you got to pay us back. But at least it would be up, it would be working. Chief Smigalski and others, I think, could take proponency, working with their local units. And we could get them to buy in up front and say, okay, we're going to do this, but you got to pay us back. What do you think? Chuck?
So I think the thought was an initial buy-in, and then obviously the departments be responsible for yearly cost after that.
Yes.
I would caution no matter what happens to the public safety fund, Commissioner Curran brought up under Caitlin's report, the biggest item looming out there for law enforcement is this radio issue with encryption. So we've been given a date and not really a date. We've been told in 2026 by the FBI, the federal government, that they may start, they've already kind of dinged dispatch in an audit. We have our audit coming up. I'm sure we're going to be put on notice about this encryption. That is going to affect every law enforcement agency in the county. So we look at the funds that may or may not happen through the state. We're going to have a lot more issues. You're not going to like to see the number I have in my capital projects for right now if we were able to do that. So I think the Public Safety Trust Fund, when that happens, no matter how much there is money for local and sheriffs in there, but the money that's going to be taken to get that encryption regulation is going to be sizable.
To what extent can we fund that with millage dollars?
Well, you could, it's public safety, but I would say the Public Safety Trust Fund that you're talking about, what the legislature does or doesn't do.
Yeah.
That would be, I would think, a very good part of the encryption that we're mandated to get done. And that affects every law enforcement agency in the county.
Okay, well, and they're going to have to cover that regardless.
Mr. Chair, just as a quick kind of summary of where we're at. So we're trying to follow a similar process to two separate projects. So one would be when Equalization rolled out the oblique imaging software, we made that available to all of the local units under the understanding that there would be a memo of understanding. They had to have their local unit sign off on it, not the local assessor, the actual governing board. So that process worked really well. It took a little bit of time, but it worked. And we got buy-in from well over 90% of the county. The separate one to think about is the years-long process of getting your fire agencies to commit and use 800 megahertz radio. So I know it feels like a long time ago, but just in the last 2 years, we still had VHF as an offering. We still had fire agencies that were using VHF through the Fire Chiefs Association. They got really aggressive. Chief Stover led the way on getting that grant to cover the cost of getting the 800 megahertz handheld radios. Ultimately, the county did put money in to get that thing finalized. We put in a contribution of roughly $90,000 to get it over that last hurdle. So there are two examples of where you have gotten in the mix, pushing technology out to the local units, as well as also financially assisted. So this is one that I would say we still have some work to do on this.
Yeah, I would agree on the funding portion of it, because I think the initial conversation, it was not alone, is that we were going to try to help them. But I'm not sure how we're going to help them yet. Even in the discussions that I've had one-on-one with some of the police chiefs, still not sure what the best way is to help them financially. And I think it needs to be known that the encryption is mandatory. I mean, that's coming. We have to deal with that. We see a great deal of value in the CAD, and that's why we're offering to help, and that's why we're trying to get that off the ground.
Yeah.
Because it is a very valuable tool. The sheriff's department already has it. We're trying to get all the other agencies in the county to get the CAD, because we see the value in it. We want everybody to have it. So I think that's a little bit longer process and a little bit longer conversation. The encryption one is one we're going to have to deal with.
Yeah.
This one, we are trying to progress forward, and we have a little bit more flexibility here than we do with the encryption.
Where is Wes the chief in Coloma?
Yeah, Coloma Township.
Okay. I couldn't remember. Okay, anything else for admin or from admin? Madam Chair of Finance.
Thank you very much. Thank you for skipping over me. We had a very good meeting, a very busy meeting this morning. And how we started out is we have a new partner with Russell Investments. And so this morning, our administrator was able to connect us with the new person that's going to come and talk with us about our finances. And her name is Harriet Smith, and still with Russell Investments. And she told us who she was, and we didn't ask where she was from, but she had an accent. And I think as she talked, she did let us know that she had been with Goldman Sachs in London.
Correct.
And she will come to us on October 23rd, 28, 25. And that will be, she will be here actually. With this, we did it virtually and on Zoom. So it was a good thing to do and very pleasant for all of us. The treasurer was in the room, the drain commissioner, in addition to our administrator and our our chairman and our finance committee. So it was valuable. Then we had a meeting with Katie Montoya from Community Development, and there were dollars given to us, something that we do hopefully each year to be able to fix some houses of people that are eligible in Berrien County. And there were a number of bids put out, and some of the things we saw today explained that if it's over a certain amount, or you know how it goes, and based on people's income. So we have 5, let's see, what's it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 properties that we're going to be able to help the residents get their houses or keep them in good shape. Most of it's roof. There are bids on, I'm just trying to kind of see some of the things that we do. Roofs for sure. Interior rehab. So the number of things that's been looked at and they're going to happen. Then the, I'm looking here. George McManus, our drain commissioner, came in and he has 3 projects that he's working on. Some are dams. And what did you ask how that was spelled? Dams. Yes. And the others are, I'm just trying to see here, I wrote, oh, and Van Buren and Berrien County are working together on some things. Inner County Jane product, $100,000 has been paid by residents and Berrien County to continue working on the Pipestone, that lake, was it the lake? Oh, Pawpaw Lake. So they're very busy, and the working relationship with Eagle is better. So it's going well, and I'm thankful. We're thankful for that. And then the next thing we had was Dawn Trail from the road department, and it's about building and grounds bid, and it's about doing some work at 2100 East Empire, and it's work that must be done because it connects, has something to do with 911 and all of that. And Brian and Don and our finance department have been talking and working, and they will be able to put the money together. There are certain spots, because this is, we do not want the 911 to have any problems, that it'll continue to run smoothly. We only had 1 bid. It was from Ibbot County Electric, which is a real plus in that because they installed and have done work on it all along. So it's going to happen. In committee business, we accepted our minutes. We had the no bids, but we did have waiver, and the waiver was for, give me a second. Here it is. The waiver was for the road department, and it was for fire and CO2 upgrades to support transition to secure alarm system at the Benton Harbor facility. And they budgeted the amount of $160,462, and the waiver amount was the same. And so that's going to happen. Its upgraded system has already been installed in Bakertown Garage, and they will now be implemented at the Benton Harbor Garage. Which is trying to see what else, community development. I'm trying to see if there are any other, we did the waiver. We signed the resolution always to pay the bills, to pay the road department bills. I call it a book. It's usually like that. Oh, and with the courts, Marion County Trial Court, Honorable Mabel Johnson Mayfield, Chief Judge, and Carrie McCann Haney, Court Administrator. This was something that was bid on, accepted bids last week. Is that, and so they gave the explanation and why is the bid cost proposal so high? Why is the project cost so low? And explained it to us, and we concurred that it should be done. Oh, and then next week, we're going to have, no, not next week, September 11th, we will have two resolutions we will bring. One is with the drain, from the drain commissioner, and the other one is from Paw Paw Lake, located in Coloma Charter Township and Waterville Charter Township, resolutions for those. Are there any other things that you can think of we need to talk about? John? Commissioner Bell, Commissioner Freeling?
I don't know if I could I just want to clarify that thing that happened at 911, providing redundancy for the system is basically what it boils down to. And the amount of time that is spanned between the time that it was originally conceived and now a lot of inflation has taken place. And so the bid has risen and it's substantial. But we can't be without the 911. It's a voter mandate. And so that's for the operation and the redundancy, the backup for that. So that's what that's mostly about.
Good. Thank you, thank you.
Questions for finance? Hearing none, we'll go to commissioner reports and we'll go clockwise.
So as you all are aware, I sit on the Michigan Committee of Juvenile Justice. We had an update call. We have our quarterly meeting in 2 weeks, but we had an update call this past week and they announced that Scale had just released an RFP to help design a screening process that will help with correctly or accurately detaining youth that are committing crimes. Currently, 60% of our youth that are in detentions are in there who have committed nonviolent crimes. And so they're trying to just kind of effectively detain our youth while, helping the courts identify proper consequences for those who are committing nonviolent crimes. And then they also announced that MDHHS is working with the University of Michigan to design an app that helps courts to better identify how much room space different detention facilities with residential units have, so that when arrests are made and sentencing occurs, that detention facilities are updated with information so that they know where and how many beds are available across the state of Michigan. And so we'll receive, I believe that deadline for that RFP was today at 5. And so we'll receive an update on that at our quarterly meeting in a couple of weeks. And that's my report.
No report.
No report.
After last Thursday's meeting, I attended BC BIT, where we got updates from MEC and DCS. I also attended Southwest Michigan Planning Commission along with Julie and Terry. And there was a nice presentation from a guy named Jerry Happel, who is the IT director in Van Buren County. They have partnered with St. Joe County, so he does IT for both counties. This is on AI and how it applies. And I think I'll let you two chime in how you saw it. I got it as a sales pitch to try to get Berrien and Cass to join in with these other two counties to do like a consortium. Then yesterday I was at 911, and when I was there, Chris Whitehart was there. So I talked to him about this, and I told him, they gave a handout, and I said, I'll get the handout to you so you can see what's coming. And that is my report.
It's since our last meeting, I had a number of people call me regarding the recognition of the first responders and staff at 911 regarding how important that was and any encouragement that the county board can take to encourage people to get CPR training would be appropriate. And then I also attended, along with Mr. Peltzer, the 50th anniversary for the St. Joe Lincoln Senior Center. And so it was a wonderful event, probably 70 to 100 people there, including the Senior Center choir singing a rewrite of the, what song was that, Adolph? Do you remember?
No, I wasn't listening.
Okay. It was YMCA, but they redid the lyrics to it, so it was very cute.
He wasn't a part of the
He was
family
not,
singers?
no, he was not.
I'm shocked.
He was at the drinking fountain.
Right.
Yeah.
But not the water one.
That concludes my report.
I attended, as Jim said, the planning commission. I gave that information on DICE to Thaddeus this morning as well, and we chatted about it briefly in PHS about putting a policy together, not necessarily advocating to join it, but having our AI policy here in the county. Also want to introduce a guest in the room today. I made her come in this morning, and I appreciate her so much. But when I say I go to Germany, this is my daughter, Rosie. That's who I go visit, Rosie, the commission. And she will have the honor of the opening of the big house this weekend. It is the beginning of college football. Go Blue. How do I follow up after that? Don't say go green. Okay.
Right, so, all right, anyhow.
We love you.
So thank you. Report, I too have a guest in the audience, my sister Kim, in case you don't recognize the familiarity here. She's been here a few times, and she joins us quite often virtually, but she's up from Texas, so it's always a pleasure to have her here. Yeah, she needed to escape the heat from down there, right? Amen. So interesting enough, last week we were talking about the 250th celebration of our country next year. And what would I happen to find in my perusings but a plate for the bicentennial that commemorated Berrien County. And so I thought I'd bring it in. I think we have one that may be in the display cabinet, but then Annette also has some binders, but I'm not gonna steal your thunder if that's in other business, that you happen to find of all of the work that was done when this celebration happened in Berrien County 50 years ago. And so there's tons of articles and record keeping and photos and things like that of the committee that was put together, so. I thought that was pretty cool.
And Commissioner, in addition to her finding of these documents, Annette also found that there is a funding stream available should the county wish to pursue this. If you do really want to roll out a welcome, so Annette has started to look at, the state of Michigan does have grants available, and it is something that we're actively working at. And it can support museum operations, it can support essentially whatever you want to do at
Plates
the.
being commemorated.
So more to come on this one.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I also attended our township meeting. Our township supervisor gave me this that his family had gotten him to put on his desk, and he goes, Terry, you have to have it up there. So I selected the Be Nice, because in all things that we do, we should be nice, right?
What's it say on the other side?
I do what I want. So you see the be nice, I see I do what I want, but, okay. I too was a part of the BC BIT meeting. Not a lot to update on. BEAD applications, I always say it wrong, it's the Bob. Now I'm just referencing it as Bob, the bargain of the bid.
Benefit of the bargain.
Thank you, benefit of the bargain. It is the second round when they voided out the first round of applications for BEAD funding through the MyHigh office because the notice of funding had changed at the federal level. And so until they are able to sort of vet all of that and wrap it up for us, we're not going to know how Berrien County landed, if there's any ISPs that were awarded. So more to come. Our next meeting is going to be virtual September 4th. Even though we don't have a meeting, we're still going to do it virtual so that we can hear what the wrap up might be on all of that. I too also attended the Southwest Michigan Planning Commission meeting. The AI presentation was very intriguing, using microbots for data entry, for form creation, for digital twins. As people are retiring to do succession planning. So they take job descriptions, basically put the job description in, capture what that individual is sort of doing so that when the new person comes into that position, all they have to do is type in, how did so-and-so do this job? And it generates a procedure and process and basically puts things into a retention of writing rather than it being rote kind of verbal training. So it was interesting. And then Graham Woodhouse applications are open until I think October 3rd is the deadline for that. And so I had shared that with our administrator. I would love to see us submit a number of different projects throughout the county. Obviously, I'm incredibly partial to the work we did for broadband. So I do believe that there may be an application that's being generated for that. Last but not least, sorry, sir. I attended a stakeholder meeting for the Conservation District in the NRCS. I will ask Brian if he can digitize this and sort of distribute it. Stacy will make sure you get a copy of it. This is the Berrien County Conservation District 2024 impact statement of who they are, what they do, what they offer to the county, and just how they've helped to reduce sediment loads in the county, planting trees, things along that line. But they also talked about the NRCS and some of the conservation practices that they have available to landowners within Berrien County and the surrounding area. And so this is a booklet that I'll make sure we get some more copies that maybe we can have available. But there's 30 different conservation practices. And the work that we did on Tuesday was to prioritize some of those areas of conservation to help them to sort of drill down on what funding might be available federally for these conservation practices. That is my long report, sir. Thank you.
That was good. Oops. Wow. When you talked about this, plate, it came to me a name of Joan Brambilla. And she was in New York City, but she was from our area. And she came back and worked with this 1976, is that it?
Yes.
70. I don't know what age I was, but I was involved in that some kind of way. I probably was like, no, I was marching or whatever. And I think Joan still lives here. It would be marvelous if there was something that was done and she was gotten in touch with. I want to tell you that I went to Buchanan, Michigan on I forgot, was it this week? Tuesday. I went on Tuesday because they had a ribbon cutting the Chamber of Commerce did for the Grant Hotel. And I don't know, and restaurant, whatever the name of it is.
McCullum.
And McCullum. It was so interesting. And this building, and I thought, I hope it's an old building that they saved. And the outside, when you look at a picture of, it had been a livery, like our livery at Benton Harbor. It had been a print shop, a number of things, and then it just closed up for a long time. And so they've made a gorgeous building. The fascia, the outside is still the same shape and all. When you go in, it is huge. And what it is there are 9 or 10 hotel rooms. And I said, there's no elevator. Well, if you're handicapped or disabled, there are 1 or 2 hotel rooms on the first floor. And then you go up some stairs to get to the others. And there was a man there that works with the livery in Benton Harbor. And he books bands and things and finds them rooms. And so it'll be much like Airbnb, but better. Because the room is just really large. They had a couple of them open. The food was great. And there's a gorgeous patio and it's on McCoy Creek. Is that correct? McCoy Creek. So there are things going on in Berrien County that you need to check out and look at and go to. We certainly enjoyed it. And I called Matt because he lives in Buchanan. He said, you're gonna have time getting in here. But it gave us a chance. We followed the detours. There was a friend of mine and I went and we got to see a lot of the houses in the neighborhood. I've gone to Buchanan, but we go to a city hall or the senior center. So I went a different way. And it was just a real pleasure. So when they have ribbon cuttings or whatever, it's important, I think, that we go and that we get a chance to see. Because when I look for a hotel room, it probably won't be a Buchanan, but I got a chance to see that. I want to tell you something. There is on Netflix a movie called Bridgerton. Did I tell you all about this already?
You have a starring
I don't-
part.
You shared it publicly. Did I? Okay, so Southwest Michigan Symphony is celebrating their 75th year. And what they're going to do is, it must have been written out or something, excerpts from Bridgerton. And it's one of those continued stories and all. I got Netflix so I could see it because there is a queen, I forgot her name, Queen Charlotte. And they said when they were having their discussion, several said, maybe Yarborough, because in this, whatever this movie is, in England, they believed that people were born, it did not matter their race, their color, or anything, and they were all together. There were kings and queens. And I don't know if Charlotte, I've got to watch it again. I've watched it, I've watched the other. And so a lady called and told me, I said, I got to act, I got to play an instrument. No, I just got to be the queen. And so it's going to be October, I think 11th. They were going to do it in Buchanan, but there's so much construction and all going on. The place they were going to use is being remodeled and it won't be ready. So it will be at the Whitcomb Hotel, which is remodeling and calling their patio and all something else. And maybe El Yarborough is Queen Charlotte. That's what I wanted to tell you. Whatever that means. And I'm looking forward to it. So, and it's what it is, it's a dress up in that era, Regency and I was imagining turkey legs, I'd be like eating or whatever. So I just wanted to tell you what I'm doing next. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. And Jim was at the ribbon cutting also.
Yeah.
And Mamie made it just in time to get in the photo.
I did, I stepped out, was late, but stepped right in the door.
Came in the door and we pulled you in, so.
Thank you.
Okay, anything?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, members of the board, just as a reminder, no meeting next week. You've got your Thursday morning off. To the BCAT members, if you could please stay after today's regular meeting. I just want to get our heads together. We've got to talk about a couple of dates. And to Annette, if you have a few minutes after the meeting, chat with her, take a look at these books. It is really interesting what was occurring back in 76. I mean, literally a year-long celebration of the country and of the county. And to talk about it being kind of a who's who of who was involved, it's very, very interesting. Those are my comments, sir.
Back to the commemorative plate that Terry brought in and that we have in the display case midway down the first floor. You mentioned that the company who cast that is still in business in Pennsylvania. I'm guessing from the back of it, they cast a limited number. I'm also guessing if they're still in business, they're gonna be getting orders to cast more of these. Do we want to inquire? Find out?
Yeah. So
Doesn't hurt to inquire.
Yeah,
we can start doing some legwork on that. Annette also did some initial legwork on the fact that the state is putting out funding to offset costs associated with celebration.
even better.
Yep. So.
What year would it make it? This is in
26.
It we celebrated.
250 years.
Semi-quincentennial.
Ah, is that what it's called?
Semi-quin.
Don't know how they're gonna fit that around the rim, but
I don't either.
they might be able to put 250 in instead of bicentennial. But, well, yeah, if we could find out.
Yeah.
It's heavy.
Yeah,
Is it pewter?
It's pewter.
Why did I say that?
so pewter is silver and
Which
is
way
it
are we
bronze,
Zinc.
Okay.
zinc? Okay. Okay, Brian's already covered the announcements and reminders. We've had the acknowledgement of family members in attendance. And we now have a closed session. Are we gonna do anything after we come out of that quarterly update other than approving minutes? Okay, so we won't be doing any business after we come back in from this closed session to get the quarterly update from corporate counsel, which is under the attorney-client privilege. So with that, oh, that's right. I had a Freudian moment there where I tried to block you out, Adolph. Sorry. Are you gonna tell us how good the fountain works now?
Counselor Hager. I want to make something clear here about first responder. First responder, you know, when I'm driving down the road and I see an accident, I get on the horn, 911. I am the first responder. And the guys that show up, the cops or whoever, they're second responder. I know you guys, everybody's called a first responder. They're all the police like him over there. You know, somebody calls him, he goes on a call. First responder is not. So technically, it's a second responder. The person that dials the number 911 is a first responder. Now, we had a 50th anniversary. No, I'm glad you mentioned my name. Yeah. Anyway, that was quite a, to get the history of, you know how much you paid for that building? $1. In other words, it's almost given away. So that's what they can do with Benton Harbor. Get some of the schools, you know, and then get them in there and change them around like it did over there. Of course, you need a lot of people to help out with that. Another thing I want to talk about is, I'd say you cancel the meeting for next week. You know, if you came out with a bulletin or something once a week, once a month, you can put that in there so people can plan. You know, all of us, I come down here and I look at this, what's this, no meeting next week? You know, you got to do a little communicating. You know what that is? Can I spell the word for you? You gotta let us know what the hell's going on. Like all the other ones, you go to St. Joe Town, have the meetings in the evening for one.
2 minutes,
That's my
sir.
biggest
I'm
complaint.
communicating.
Thank you, Mr. Pelzer. For your information, the meeting schedule was actually published in January for the entire year. And on that schedule, if you look at it, you'll see that we said we would not be meeting on the Thursday, which follows Labor Day. So that's been out there for 8 months. Second, if you call in on 911, you're calling in, you're not responding to the call. Emergency medical, law enforcement, they are first responders. You might be the first caller, but then they are the first responders to the call. Just clarification. Does anyone else wish to be heard? All right, we'll close public comments and then we'll entertain a motion to go into closed session under MCL, whatever it is, 15.268, to go over things with our attorney. Is there a motion to do that? Moved by Harrison. Is there support? Supported by Tyler. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, when you're ready, roll call, please.
Tinkelman. Ott. Pittsford. Tyler. Borath. Werfel. Yarborough. Elliott.
Yes.
Curran. Freeling. Harrison.
Thank you. So we'll be shutting down our YouTube link and going into closed session. And other than the sheriff